going to be replaced with the presumption of truth. And that presumption of truth is that what is alleged and published is true, and the public official must show that it is false. Is that it?
I accept that the public official in performance of the duty will have to do that, but I don't know of any presumption of truth, because when the person reads it, they are put an inquiry, because you're dealing with the man's performance in the public office, a discussion about it, and then when it's published, the public will want to know, well, what is this?
We're not dealing just with the man's performance to say that Minister X or Permanent Secretary Y ought to have done so and so, but did not.
Yes.
Let's narrow it down to something which is very important: corruption. That he acted corruptly in the performance of his function. Once that allegation is made, is it that it is to be presumed to be true unless the public official shows it to be false?
No. You see, what you have done again is use an extreme example by using the word corruptly. The minute that's it, you're accused of dishonesty.
That's why you brought us here. That's why you brought us here. You said that the Sullivan principle is necessary to obviate corruption. So you can't tell me that's extreme. That's entirely your result.
No, sir. It depends on the language in which you use it.
This document is written with reference to corruption, and I don't know why we should shy away from it. I think it's something that we should face fronted.
But it is.
If it is, and I believe it ought to be, that we deal with this pernicious practice of corruption, we want to remove it from our society. Or drastically minimize it at the very least. And let's say so. And I say that I want to be a part of a process that achieves that. So I want to know, in being a part of that process, insofar as it relates to the law relating to defamation, how do we do that? And that's all I'm inquiring of you.
When you look at, let's just say what Sullivan says, that you must not prove the falsity, or you can prove that it was done recklessly or carelessly. No, he has the burden of proof it was done recklessly and carelessly, without any reason for so doing. Then certainly, he would have succeeded, because he just has to show that, look what you published about me, you didn't check, you didn't do this, and you have done it maliciously. He has to prove, he proves that.
Once the allegation amounts to a criminal offense,
yes.
And in fact I can't think of anything that, in relation to corruption, that would not relate to a criminal offense.
Right.
That the burden doesn't shift. And as the accused person would have a presumption of innocence, then the person who's making the allegation would certainly have the presumption that maintains no common law.
That's what I said.
And so there wouldn't be any qualitative shift in the position. And I too am like Mr. Sonak. I think corruption is a major issue. And if we're going to deal with it, let us deal with it we might very well be dealing with it to preserve the correct situation as you're really putting forward.
Probably indicating the effect that there is a difference between the right to either criticize, and I'm going on to corruption and the specific, but a right to criticize or to examine more carefully and in depth a public official's role and his.
I don't think there's any objection to that. It's a shifting of the burden that's created.
And if the, sorry, I know.
As a matter of fact, that was widened exponentially recently, in the past decade and a half. You would know that.
No, I'm afraid when you say I know it, but I don't
know.
Sorry.
Oh, I mean 15, 18, 19 years ago, 20 years ago, you had that. One or two media.
Oh, you mean in terms of outlets, yeah. Yeah, but what I think is an attempt, the question, there are quite a bit, but the question is that if you have a right to inquire more, you go usually with a greater degree of scrutiny, information, probing, and so forth. When you do that, and let's just say the person is not even an official yet in the politicians generally that is going to run for seat, because we have about 11 cases where suits have been brought. And really it is not intended to be very clear, but just look at the paperwork and you'll see it's not intended to even talk about reputation. It is in the guise of reputation, but it's intended to suit another agenda. And what we're trying to do is find a way in which the person, the public official, would not have the same level of, same fence to hide behind as would the norm, as would the average person who is not for. What would the solution to that be in your mind?
No, easy enough. You are asking us for a solution to that. But your submission is that we should go directly to Sullivan. That is what your position is.
Yes, but
please, your position is that the law relating to Sullivan should obtain in Jamaica. So that, for my part, it would take a whole lot of convincing to take me that far. However, I understand that with a public official, and I don't wish it to be narrowed down to politicians. I would wish not. As a matter of fact, you yourself want much wider, including the MAJ. PSOJ.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
All of you.
No. What I'm asking is, can you assist us with what some might call a middle road? Because all of this boils down to fairness and responsibility. And the more responsibilities that attach to you, it seems to me that you stand in a position that you should be scrutinized even more. I would go that far, provided it is done fairly and with responsibility. Responsibility to the public, responsibility to the media, and responsibility of the public official. Fairness in all cases. No, Mrs. Fawley. You see, why I would not in the least accept that the Sullivan principle should be applied in Jamaica. You see, you have to convince me. Why is it that none of the Commonwealth countries have? You know why they have agreed to do it in India, to my view? In my view, India is a vast country with a whole heap of people. If you are a public official and defamed in Bangalore, you run and go and live in Mumbai and nobody knows you. You try that in Jamaica. A public official is defamed in Morant Bay. Where is he going to hide in Jamaica? Can't.
The only place I know is Rockaway.
Well, that's in Rockaway, but no place you can hide. Not even Rockaway doesn't